Hey, I'm back. So, if you were watching the other video clip about me running, managing the club and the waitress problem, hold a second there. The waitresses were kind of getting bickery with each other a little bit. It was getting kind of serious, so it wasn't just little bickering. So they came to me and they were complaining about how, because when I seen their bickering, I don't know, I can't remember exactly if they came to me or I could hear them bickering and ask what was going on. That's when everybody came at me, you know. And then I was like, what did I walk into? But, you know, what was getting them so ornery with each other is, like, I guess some of the waitresses would always get this one area, and that area made more money apparently, and everybody felt that area made more money, so they're all trying to fight to always have that area, you know, because they all want to make more money, understandably, and everybody's got to live, you know. And so that's what they're all arguing with me about, or not arguing, but expressing themselves about, some very intensely. And so none of my bouncers or bartenders or nothing, none of them were in on this. This was all waitresses. And and I just said, well, I had to think real quick on my feet to figure out how to handle it the best. And I didn't want no one getting, you know, mad at me because of how I handled it, you know, or whatever. So I just told them, I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, we're all adults here. I said, so I think you ladies, I know that you're intelligent enough, you've worked in this business and this club long enough that you all know the numbers and stuff, and you're seeing it already, because that's where some of this dispute is coming in. So now I said, I'd like you all to sit down and, if you can, because you're all adults, figure it out amongst yourselves. And I don't care if you rotate, you know, somebody gets it this day, that day. I don't even care if during the shift. If somebody gets it for the first half of the shift, second half of the shift, or if you want to split it into thirds or quarters during a shift, you know, depending on how long we're going. You know, if you guys want to rotate every hour or something, you know, as long as you guys all come up with a plan amongst yourselves that you all agree with, that would be great. I said, we're all adults. I think you ladies can do it. I said, now if you can't, I said, then come back to me and let me know, and I will straighten it out. I will lay out the plan. Well, guess what? I sure got lucky. Because they did. They all figured it out and came up with a plan, and they rotated it. I can't remember, like, if they did it every 2-3 hours or something like that, or something. So maybe they're rotating once or twice during a night on the weekends. And that place was hopping. Boy, we had large crowds, near 500-600 people every weekend, it seemed like. And anyway, yeah, we got a good thing around there. It was a fun business. I mean, we stayed on top of things. People didn't get to fighting and stuff and that, because I started teaching my bouncers how to defuse stuff before it even happens, and how to pay attention to what's going on in the crowd, you know. So it ended up being a really fun place. But yeah, I was so proud of them waitresses too, and they were proud of themselves, and they deserved to feel proud of themselves. They sat down. I think in the beginning, there's, you know, some of them that were a little hot-headed were a little slow to the give and take process, you know, but it worked out well. And then after that, they all got along so well, and they all started hanging out together more and everything. It worked out really good. And it made me very happy to see them come up with something on their own. And they came back to me and said, well, here's what we're doing. I can't remember what it was, you know, how quick they're shifting and stuff. My main thing was for them to figure it out and get it on their own, and so everybody could get along. And when they came back, and I liked that they respected me to come back to say, here's what we came up with a plan. That's great. I said, that's good. You know, I said, it works for me, you know. And yeah, it was just a wonderful thing. I like how it worked out. So it made me very proud of them and happy for them how it all worked out. And I felt good because of the way I handled it, you know. And, if they couldn't have worked it out, I would have, you know, made the tough decisions, you know. And I would have came up with a pretty good plan. I think I would have been pretty close to what they had going on, probably. But I think they kind of went off some of my suggestions about they could rotate or whatever, you know. So that kind of gave them some ideas. And then I think I don't know if they came up with different ideas or if they just came up with how often they'd shift or whatever, you know. So, but having them throwing out some ideas and having them work on it themselves, you know, and then tell them that I had confidence that they could figure it out, that, you know, help raise them all up and work together and stuff. It just worked out really well. Well, I don't know how that came up in the last video, but that's why I restarted this video, so I could keep it going and talk about it a little bit. And see, back then, that was times that I wasn't talking about God or Jesus Christ or nothing with them. But I think everybody knew, and everybody that got to know me and stuff, they knew that was my beliefs and stuff. I just didn't, you know, preach about it as much or something. You know, I always wore my cross there. I've worn a cross on my neck since I can remember, since I was a little kid, probably since I was in, gosh, I'm going to say probably since grade school, maybe. Somewhere in grade school, I started wearing a cross all the time. And I got so used to it that without it, I almost feel naked. You know? And I'd sleep with it and everything. Well, nowadays, I'm getting older and stuff, so I feel it on my neck more when I'm sleeping. So nowadays, I do at night. I take my necklace off and stuff. But not always, but most of the time now. And it's got to be something to do with getting older or something. Because it didn't bother me all these years to sleep with my cross necklace on or something. There's this car. It's been parked over there. I should turn at it here for a minute here. I don't know how to do this here. We're going to unhook this. There's this car. They're getting a close-up of me. That ain't no car. That's a close-up of you, Darren. There we go. Now, let's see if we can zoom in. That car right there, it's been parked there for a while. As you can see, it still has snow and stuff on it. But out of nowhere, the lights came on and it started up on its own. So I figured somebody must have been, getting a ride back to it or something, getting close, and hit their remote to start it up. And I thought they'd be pulling up next to it and getting dropped off or something. But I ain't seen nobody, and it's been running a while now, so I don't know if they drove by and they're going to come back around or what. Maybe they're at home and they can do it via their phone or something. I don't know. Let's zoom back out here. Turn that around. So, some of my goofy filming techniques here. So I should have mixed in some martial art, Bruce Lee type techniques into that little filming episode there. I could have been, as I was turning the camera and stuff, I could have been like, wow, yeah. Anyway, being silly. I'm in a silly mood today. It's weird too, because like with all the stuff I got going on right now, and it's the new year, I was thinking I was going to be like feeling all mizzly drizzly. And I don't know. Well, I think it was when I first woke up. And I slept longer today too because of that. Because mornings have been tougher in this tough situation. So I think I purposely slept longer today, which the rest was probably good for my body anyway. And I got the library shut down earlier last night, which was okay because I was with my friend, and then we ended up going out to Perkins and blabbing up a storm there. So we were blabbing at the library first, and then blabbing at Perkins later. And that was just a lot of fun, getting to share some time with a friend. And I enjoy that all the time, no matter which friend, or even if it's a new friend that I just met. I just like sharing with people. And if I can use who I am to make people feel good, smile, whatever it is. Oh, I think somebody's coming in for that car. Oh, maybe not. Nope. They drove right past it. Darn. I was thinking it's onto something there. Anyway. That word. I'm trying to get that out of my vocabulary during videos, so I'm not like using it as I'm not to fill in space. We're getting up there in a video time. So I hope everybody new year is starting out wonderful. And I hope God blesses your whole new year. And I hope this is a really wonderful year for everybody. Myself included. I hope that's alright. I do. I like seeing everybody happy. When people are doing good, I just like cheering them on. Like, heck yeah, you keep going, And never would I intentionally steal anybody's thunder if they're doing well. And I even try to, watch out for that, in situations. When somebody's happy or proud of what they've done and it's showing, I try to just help build on that, 'cause sometimes it's easy when somebody's doing really good that you want to feel that with them, so it can be instinctive to want to jump in and say, yeah, one time I did this, or something. And there's moments for that when you're communicating back and forth, whatever. But I think more often, a lot of times, we should try to help build people up, especially if you know them or know that they've had tougher times or something, and then they had a hurdle they just accomplished or something like that. Heck yeah, help build their confidence. That's important to do with all people. If you help build their confidence, it helps their self-esteem and everything. And when you think about it, by you being a positive person to other people's lives, that makes them feel happier or more positive, or because you complimented them or helped build them up or whatever, that energy is going to start spreading, rather than somebody feeling down or negative, or somebody that's being bitchy or something, and then they're going around venting their bitchiness, and it starts rubbing off on other people because, oh, that person's grumpy, whatever, and then it affects each person. Whereas if you just, that person that was upset, if you had some way to try to ignore that, if you can find an end to change it, to turn it into them smiling and feeling better. Not always easy to do, and it is a skill that you get better at, learning how to communicate with people. Well, then you just took somebody that was walking around, or not that you did it, but you know what I mean. Somebody that had negativity going on because of whatever situation got them feeling that way. And just by you brightening their mood or changing helping them feel different, now that same scenario where they would have been maybe griping going to other people, now if they're feeling better going around other people, well, I think you can see what I'm getting at there for the effect and how, I think they call it the butterfly effect or something like that. But it's real. That stuff's important. Oh, I should shut this off. I had been letting it idle away and run on this whole time. Oh, goodness gracious. I got so busy talking, and there I am running fuel. I mean, still was charging my batteries the whole time, so that's good. And I was heating it up in here, so my diesel heater is running, not burning as much diesel. But I'm glad all of a sudden I just now thought about it. That was funny because I got an adrenaline rush right in that moment of realizing I've had this thing running for a while, because I got so busy flapping my gums I wasn't thinking. Boy, that was some expensive gum flapping. Oh my, oh my. Well, it is what it is. And I was wanting to get my batteries charged more because we haven't, the cloud, with the snow and the clouds, it's been so gloomy. The solar panels haven't been really putting out a whole lot of power. Plus, it doesn't matter even if it is sunny. The sun's at more of an angle in the winter, so you'd already, even if it's clear skies, you're already getting less energy in the winter. But I do pretty good for the most part, But when you start having cloudy day after cloudy day after cloudy day, you start noticing your batteries dumping down a little more. I mean, they come up each day a little bit because the light still gets a little voltage coming out, but as it's fluctuating, you start seeing it going down, and then it's fluctuating and going down, fluctuating, going down, especially if you're staying still. Now, if you're turning the key, like when I was working at the Foundry, didn't hardly notice it because I'm filling up on gas because I'm getting a check every week and driving around and running to go buy new overalls and clothes all the time, because at the Foundry, you just burn through clothes, literally. I mean, literally burn through them. Sometimes next thing you know, your pant leg is catching on fire. Or seen it numerous times with people, and it's a smell you learn real quick when blue jean material at the Foundry starts catching on fire and burning, or that you learn the smell. So there's other things that can catch on fire too, because you're dealing with molten metal and stuff. But you start learning the different smells. Some smells you're still like, well, something's burning. What is it? But after a few different people's pant legs kind of catch on fire, you start learning that smell, because you realize the danger that they could have got burnt or something like that. And in some cases they might have even got a little red burn or something. But we had some people that got burnt with liquid metal too. And anyway, but the jeans, it's a distinct smell when they start catching on fire. I remember one time when I first started it, and I had some filling a mold, and I had some metal spill over on the floor a little bit, and it's after I'd been working a while and getting comfortable with moving, because in the beginning you're all careful and but then as things get moving and you're trying to produce, you start getting a comfort zone kind of in that, and then your comfort zone changes, because then if you start getting a little spill here and there, then you slow down for a minute. So then you just kind of get into a rhythm where you can keep things moving pretty good, even when you're scooping metal and stuff, But one time I had the hot metal dripped on the ground. Actually, it was the first time it happened to me is because there was a hole in my ladle and I didn't know it. So it was dripping on the ground, and I didn't know it because I was watching what was pouring in the cup. And all of a sudden I'm like, so I could smell smoke and stuff, and I looked down and I got all this smoke coming out from under my feet, and I was standing in molten metal that was now starting to cool and harden on the floor under my boots. Oh boy, did that scare me. It gave me an adrenaline rush quick. I was like, oh, I was moving fast, dancing my feet around, making sure my feet weren't catching on fire or nothing. In the beginning, I wasn't aware of that stuff, and one time it almost burnt all the way right through my boot to the bottom of my foot. And it was one of my other coworkers that started hollering, hey, 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 because all the noise and everything. And I look over at him, and then I look down, and I'm, and yeah, that one, like, after work, I could push the bottom of my boot, and it would just go in, and I could feel my foot like in there. That's how close it came. I got really lucky. But see, then part of why I didn't feel it, he saved me, because I don't know what, it was something to do with the Foundry, I'm sure, because I've always been healthy. But I started getting numbness in my fingertips going back into my hands, like at this angle from my index fingers, then at an angle through, and then I got halfway up into my hands, my fingers started getting numb to where I couldn't feel stuff. Like if I grabbed nuts out of a can, I couldn't even feel them. But my left hand was worse at first, and then my right hand was still okay, but then that got bad too. And then it happened to my toes, and started going my toes, numbness, back into my feet. Well, halfway into my feet. So my feet were numb, so they weren't feeling the heat or nothing, And, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about in one of my other videos about I got a strong work ethic, I'm trying to get a job done, I'm not, I handle physical pain very well. So I've been in boxing and martial arts, and, I just was raised to be kind of a warrior, I guess. I don't know. I think it was something that's in me. But, anyway, there's that word again. Since I've been out of the Foundry, and of May, beginning of June, so since it was beginning of June, we'll count June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and now here we are in January. So we are into 8 months of being out of work now. Oh my goodness gracious. How did I even survive this long? And I have healed up so much. I could feel God wanting me to, in the beginning, I was trying to go to interviews and get jobs up here right away, I actually had kind of set it up fast before I even made it all the way up here. And this one doing maintenance for this one construction company that was $32 an hour. And that interview went super awesome. That was a fun interview, and I thought for sure they were gonna hire me. And they did contact me and said no, they decided they're gonna go with somebody else or whatever. But in that process, I could feel God telling me that, I could feel him not wanting me to work a normal job. It's been confusing to understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. And he wanted me to talk about him. That's why I started this channel, and to spread his word or my faith or show my faith to more people or what, I don't know. But I think I'm trying anyway. And we'll see where it all goes. But the working thing had wanted me to rest, and I could feel it so strong, so I did. Then I took a period of time where I just relaxed more, and I didn't work, and I had money because I tried saving up some money before a lot was done at the Foundry or got fired or the whole story. But I went through kind of quick because I started putting money into the camper, thinking, well, if for some reason I don't get work, I don't want to have something break down on the camper and then I'm out of money and I have no way to fix it, So I tried to get ahead of the game there, and I put over $5,000 into, hey, that person with that car just got dropped off. So his remote must work from a long way away, or he's got it through his phone or something. Because it took quite a while, and then we'll see on the video. Oh my gosh, I'm talking so long again. It's another dang 20-some minute video. But anyway, since I've been away from the Foundry, and the time that I did relax and heal before I started banging away at applying for jobs and stuff again, and going to interviews, I have healed a lot. My hands are like 100%. My feelings are all back to them. My right hand is 100% normal. My left hand is 99. It's just like on the very little tips of my fingers, there's maybe just a little bit of tingle or something like that. And my feet are way better. The skin on my feet, everything. I've healed up so much better. And so I'm glad, even though I'm going through some really tough stuff, at least I'm alive. I think the Foundry was very bad for my health from all the chemicals in the air and stuff. Even though they got vent fans and all that stuff. But yeah, I feel like it's better to be alive and get my health back than to be dying and making halfway decent money, So anyway, I said that word again. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free. Share it to help the channel grow. Anything. Send some comments in there. I don't care. Sometimes it's hard to think about what to comment. I don't know I've got nothing to tell you to comment, because I know some channels do that, but I feel like that's kind of weird to tell somebody what to comment or something. I know it helps the channel grow, and that way somebody, if they don't know what to say, like if somebody said, I don't know, I don't even know what to think. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the next video or something. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.